Alright, hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make some Genji Shurikens from Overwatch. As you can see here, these are actually the prototypes. The newest version I just made just actually looks quite a bit better. So if you want to make the Shurikens, I will show you that now. The hardest part of this is actually printing them. Printers can be a little picky on how you print, since if you want to actually have the guide, which I made, and if you want to actually have the actual blade images, you have to print it on two sides. I have a little mini guide below of how to do this, but if you already know how to make paper shurikens, you can just go ahead and print out just this side and then just fold it on the back. But if you're new, I suggest trying to do the guide. And again, if you're trying to print both sides, sometimes when you put a page in and you print, you have to flip it over if you want to print the other side. But yeah, that's just, I'll have a test page down below you can practice with before you use a whole ton of ink. Alright. So as you can see, these new versions actually have a black background instead of like a kind of grayish thing, and I extended the actual metal parts. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing you gotta do is, well, we're going to look at the guide side. And again, this does look complicated, but it's really easy. I'll walk you through each step. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is actually cut this out, and go ahead and cut out this box. You don't cut any of these lines just yet, just cut out the main box. As you can see, I cut off some of the black line here, but it's really not a big deal. It's usually close enough. Alright, so now we have this square piece of paper. I believe I printed it to about 8 inches. Or if you live outside the US and you have different size paper, that may be a slight issue. As long as you print it square, it should be okay. Alright, so next thing we want to do is we want to cut across this dotted line I gave you. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright. So now you should have two pieces, one labeled left and one labeled right with the L and R. So we're going to start with the left side. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fold across this line. But as my lines aren't perfectly centered, that may be, it's not going to be perfect. Just go ahead and fold this in half as best as you can and line up the two edges here, as you can see. Just line it up and then fold it down. As you see, the line's not perfect, but it is pretty close. So as you see here, I didn't actually fold it perfectly, so what you can do is just pinch with your fingers and just twist it till it's lined up, and then just go like that and push it down so you have a perfect. So basically you can adjust it a little bit. If you've ever folded paper before, you're probably used to that. And if it's not perfect still, you can just roll it up with your fingers by going like this, and then you can match it up. And then once it's pretty much straight, you're good to go. Alright. So that was our first fold. It was folding it in half, or A to A down here, and A to A up there. The next fold is on this gray line, and that's B to B. That B is a little bit high up, but you get the general idea. So we're going to fold it like this. And again, the way you fold is important. So after you fold it like this, it should open like a book. Then what we're going to do is we're going to fold the outside down. So we're just going to fold it like this. Fold it in half, measure it on this side, line it up, and then just go ahead and fold it over, and it should look like this if you're using the double-sided. Alright, now go ahead and open it up, and now we're looking for the C's. We see our C's here. So again, okay, then make sure you fold the one with the L down to here first to close it back up, and then you're going to fold it over. So we're folding C, 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 and we're folding down like this. Don't do it like this, that would be wrong. So make sure it's like this, closed just like this with the opening on this side, and then fold it down. Go. Now do the same thing on the other side. This time we're using D. So as you see, D is there. That means we're folding across this line. And if you fold it like this and it's overlapping, that's not good. So just bring it down a little bit so there's a slight gap in between them, and just fold them down. If your shurikens don't perfectly match up, as you see, I have some white here. That's fine. We can fix that later, or you can just roll it over a little bit, like I said before, and then just push it down to flatten it. You don't want your gap too big, but if you have a small gap like that, that's fine. You just want to make sure that your triangle's as sharp as possible. As you can see here, my triangle's not sharp, so what I want to do is fold it over a little bit and push it down to try to close up the triangle. As you can see now, it's actually, there's no weird gap thing there, so that's good. Alright, so moving on to the other side, we want to have the two E's right here folded down to this F. So let's go ahead and fold that down. And again, triangles, make sure your triangle is not too rounded, is not too squared off. Do the same thing here, except for here, it's not really labeled. There's a G here, so just fold this side down. As you see here, it's not triangled enough, so we're just going to do that roll thing again. Where we roll it a little bit down. What I'm doing is I'm pinching and then tilting to try and cause it to roll the paper inward a little bit. Alright, now you should have something that looks like this. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to fold in this tab. Basically, we're going to fold the blades over each other. So, let's go ahead and do that like this. As you see, it doesn't perfectly match up, and there's a little bit of a squaring there, so just move it down. Just try to move it a little bit. Again, if it's a little bit off, it's probably still going to be okay, but let's just try to fix it. Do the same thing on the other side. As you see, fold the blades over each other. And here we go. It's just like this side's pretty much done now. But if we look back here, we have this pretty big gap. We don't want to have that gap. So again, we just roll it back a little bit and try to make it as triangular as possible. Alright, and now if we unfold this last part that we just folded, it's back in this shape. Now, keep in mind there's a gap here, an opening, and there's a flat side here. This side is now done. Let's move on to this side. Same steps. Fold A to A, A to A, fold it in half. There we go. And then fold B to B. Again, folding this side in. And when we're doing the most stuff on the right side, we're usually going to have it closed to the left. So keep that in mind. There's our line. We can kind of see it through the light. Try to match up these sides. And here we go. Alright, now we're going to open it back up again, like a book. And we have all our C's just like last time. But this time, we're going to fold them a little bit different. We're going to fold them this way. Again, we're just folding it so the blades parts actually out. So just fold it like that. If there's a little bit of white space, that's probably fine. We can roll it back later if needed. Alright, so next part is D. See all 4 D's there. Fold it over. And there we go. Fold over this tab, which is F. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter which way you do first, but just for the sake of example, we're going to do the E side first. So try to make it a triangle as triangular as possible. As you can see, there's a little bit of a gap, but we can fix that later if needed. Ideally, it's just going to fold all the way down, but it's going to be fine. Alright, so for this side, now we're doing the F. F is here and F is here. Go ahead and fold this down. Yeah, you'll see a little bit of blades sticking out, but that's okay. Alright, and then just like last time, we fold the blades over each other. So here we are back here. Sorry if I'm going too fast. You can always pause the video and then do the step. This is just, I just do things how I think. And as you can see here, that's where our little problem came in. That's way too big of a gap right there. So what we need to do is try to fix this triangle. You see how this bottom triangle is good, but that one starts way up there? Let's see if I can close up on that. See, this bottom triangle is perfect. Starts here, starts there, and it's like a 90-degree triangle. This one is not a 90-degree triangle. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust this blade part down. So we're going to go back to here. This is where our triangle problem came in. So we need to turn this into a 90-degree triangle. So let's just roll it. And there we go. Now it's a 90-degree triangle. What we did was we just pulled some of this side around. So there we go. And now when we fold this over, just roll it if needed. And there you go. Alright, so now we're going to open that up a little bit, just like this one. And here comes the easy part. So what we need to do is find the 2 flat sides. This is flat, and this is opened. See? Open, flat. Take the flat side. This is flat. This is open. Put them together. And now we take this blade and stick it under this blade. So the easiest way to do it is just to pull it up. Put it under. Then, same thing with the other one. Pull this up. Remember, this is the side we didn't tuck yet. And just tuck this in. The other side gets a little bit more difficult. Flip it over. If you need, you can use a pencil or something. You just pull up that little flap. Remember when I said it could open? Now it can't anymore, but it can open. You can move it a little bit. Then just tuck this under. I'll see if I can show it you slower. Take this blade, tuck it into that opening. And there's one more opening. It's probably going to be a little bit harder to access. So just use anything to push it up, and you should be able to tuck this blade under. And there you go. Here's a newer version. It has the little black spots in there to make it look a little bit less weird. And it has the traditional coloring as opposed to the one that I did with a slightly newer coloring. I don't think it makes much of a difference, but I'll probably be posting this one instead. And there we go. Now we have another Genji Shuriken, and we're ready to go into combat. Although Genji can only carry 3 at a time, we can carry as many as we want. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll have all the links to this stuff below, so you can print out your own and then fold them. Yeah. Enjoy, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.